Because I'm a Pan-Africanist, I come from a different angle. So I see all African people as family, no matter where they come from, right? With that being said, yes, one race. With that being said, I see nothing wrong with each branch of the family handling their own private business, as long as it doesn't take away from the collective unity of the entire family. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have a grandmom who had 10 kids, right? Each child has their own family. They got their own children. They got their own grandchildren. And there's a time and a place for each child to be with their own children, handle their own issues in their own house, right? So what goes on in my brother's house is my brother's business. It is not my business. What goes on in my sister's house is my sister's business. It's not my business unless they come to me and ask me to get involved. But at the same time, they still my family. We not enemies. I don't have to disassociate from them. I don't have to demonize them. I don't have to weaponize my experience against them. We still one family. My issue with some American Africans, because I do not use the word Black American at all. I am an African. I am an African in America, American African. That's me. So for us who are the descendants of the Africans who built this country, who have a unique history in America, a unique situation, I see no problem with us saying, hey, we got some issues that our African immigrant brothers and sisters cannot represent us on because they haven't walked in our shoes in this country these past 400 years, right?
Yes.
I don't have a problem with that. I do not have a problem with that. When you say that there are African immigrants in public office, okay, who are speaking for the American African, I don't have a problem with that if they're speaking for me appropriately. But in addition to that, we should also have American Africans who know the struggle speaking for us. So I agree with you.
It doesn't seem to be, they don't seem to be the ones that get in those positions.
Let me finish this point and I'm coming right to you so you can speak.
Okay.
If you say, Dr. Umar, I need more American Africans represent me in a political theater, I'm with you, right? American, I'm with you. But I'm also going to tell you, don't demonize the African immigrants who are there. The problem is not that they're there. The problem is we don't have more American Africans speaking up. You see what I'm saying? In other words, I'm not going to demonize an immigrant African for winning a political office, okay? As long as they're not working against me. Now, if they're working against me, I'm going to identify and I'm going to isolate them. You understand me? Even though I'm a Pan-Africanist, I expect every branch of the African family to support every other branch. So if one of my Nigerian African brothers come to America and starts acting like a coon, I'm going to publicly identify and I'm going to isolate. If I catch you, my sister, demonizing and disrespecting immigrant Africans, I'm going to identify you and isolate you as a coon. So the rules do not differ for me. Respect everybody's right to represent themselves. That's what you're saying. I want American Africans to represent American Africans. I agree with you. I have no issue with that. But then if you turn around and say that immigrants are my enemies, that's where I have to draw the line with you, because the immigrant Africans are not my enemies. They are only 3% of all Black people in this country. They are the lowest immigrant pool, one of the lowest immigrant pools in this country. Most of what we built is not being taken by African immigrants. It's being taken by Latinos, feminists, LGBTQs, and ethnic white minority groups who we never talk about. So my thing is, let's not unfairly dump on the African immigrant population when you got all these other immigrant groups who have stolen and siphoned off of Black people, and we say nothing at all. I ain't heard nobody talk about how the LGBT have siphoned off of the Black struggle. I don't hear nobody talking about how anti-Black Latinos, not the African Latinos who identify with us, but the anti-African Latinos, nobody talks about how they have siphoned off of the Black movement as well. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are with all people who have immigrated here and are not for the benefit of Black Americans who are here. I'm not narrowing it down just to Africans.
Okay.
I'm just, to me, I haven't seen where it has benefited the Black community personally.
Okay, I got you. And I
lived here for over 40 years, so that's my observation.
Your opinion. There's one more thing I want to give to you, though. I I want to make sure that the American African family, which I am a part, we need to make sure, my queen, that we are not always operating from victim consciousness or deficit perspective. I'm going to explain what I mean by that. I think sometimes we can operate from victim consciousness and deficit perspective too much. I want to give you an example. We are a $2 trillion economy, right? We spend $2 billion on Air Jordans a year. We spend $4 billion on liquor a year. Black women spend nearly $30 billion, mostly black women, black men in there too, but mostly black women, $30 billion on the beauty industry. From the products, to the services, to the shampoo, the oil, the lotion, the shea butter, blah, 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 blah. Let me ask you a question. If we were in a position of power in this country, power, let's say we owned some Black Wall Streets. Let's say we owned our own beauty supply. Let's say we had our
We used to.
Stay with me. You're right. And we still got a few small ones. Let's say we had our own hospitals. Let's say we had our own neighborhoods. Let's say we could put our own children to work. Let's say we had our own manufacturing. We have our own security. We have our own distribution. We are electing our own officials who we finance and control, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's assume that that was the reality for a minute. Do you think African immigrants would be acting differently towards us if we were in a position of power?
My stance is not only just direct to
Stay with my question. No, stay with my question. If we were operating from a position of power, Africans who come to America from the Caribbean, from the UK, from Canada, from the continent, from South America to Central America, from the South Pacific, from Australia. If we were in a position of power in America, like the Chinese are, like the Jews are, like the Arabs are, like the East Indians are, like the Anglo-Saxons are, if we were in a position of power, my queen, hypothetical question, if we were in a position of power, do you think African immigrants from around the world would treat us differently? Yes or no?
I would say yes, because when they get here, they stay to themselves. They don't really try to come together and be with us. They separate themselves.
I want you to finish that, but okay, they would treat us differently. So let me ask you a question.
They do it now.
Let me ask you a question. If you were an African, let's say you went to Australia, or you went to London, or you went to Canada, from the United States, you are an American African immigrant into another country. And you saw when you got there, the black people there had no power, control no industries, senselessly waste their wealth with the same white people who they want reparations from. Do you think you would be eager to become a part of them? Yes or no?
Yeah, because I'm going to be with my people. That's just who I am.
Okay, so you saying you're going to ride out regardless.
I'm going to be with my people.
That's how I
try to change how they think.
Do you think most American Africans would do that?
The ones I'm around, I can't speak for everybody else.
I don't think you're being honest when you say that. I don't think no group of any people, not just blacks, I don't see no group of any race going to a completely different continent, seeing their people there in a servitude, unempowered position, and be in a rush to identify and help them. Nobody does that. Generally, nobody does that. The reason I'm bringing this up, Queen, is, in my opinion, and we can agree to disagree, but in my opinion, our issue is not how the African immigrants treat us. Our issue is how we treat ourselves. And our issue is we have allowed ourselves to remain at the bottom when we clearly have the ability.
See, what you're saying right there is wrong, because that's the mindset they have, that all black Americans don't have anything. That's the wrong mindset.
Listen to me. If we are trying to empower ourselves as American Africans, if we are trying to empower...
Don't identify as that.
Let me finish. Well, right. I'm American African. I'm not a black American. So
okay.
Yes, we definitely want to disagree on that. Mm-hmm. So, if we are trying to empower ourselves, I'm not worried about the immigrant African because I'm too busy empowering myself. See, I'm worried about the immigrant African because I think he's going to get some of my crumbs that the master throws off his table onto